Or there's the title. Yes. And I'll tell you where this came from. Oop, I forget. I hug people and this thing bends. There we go. The same radiance of the northern lights lives in me as I tap into my 12 spiritual powers. For those of you who weren't here last week, I started on a series of Unity's 12 powers. And if you have any familiarity to the chakras, it's similar to that, because did everybody get one of these? Anybody that didn't, I'd like to make sure, if you don't mind. Yeah, raise your hand so they can pass them out to you, please. So if you didn't get one, you're going to want one for the talk, so you kind of have a little more understanding of what I'm talking about. I want you to look at this picture. This is my son. These are my son's pictures. He just happened to be, he lives in Montana, and he and a couple of friends went way out into the wilderness. They were going to see the meteor shower. Remember that was a couple weeks ago? And we were supposed to hopefully get some view of the meteor showers. And we're coming along, so keep your hand up, please. Do we have enough? Okay, good. So anyway, they just happened that this was unexpected, that these northern lights showed up. And he took these two pictures. He took multiple pictures of it. But why I chose this title and why I'm showing you these pictures is this is representative of the light that is in you. Your true colors shining through when you allow them to shine through. But it's tough at times to live in this earth plane with constant criticism, constant judgment of others. And, people need to voice negative opinions on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and all that. And I don't understand it, because that's just not something I would ever do. My mother taught me, if you didn't have anything nice to say, what? Don't say it at all, right? But see, everybody can hide behind those social media platforms, right? It's almost like, well, they don't know it's me, right? It's crazy. So it's important for you to realize that Charles Fillmore studied the world religions, and he and Myrtle, his wife, who co-founded Unity, came up with these 12 power centers. So there's more than just how many chakras are there? 7, right? Okay, few more than that Charles Fillmore developed, and he believed that these were spiritual powers that were embedded in each and every one of us at birth. And when you access them, your true colors will shine through. You will shine like those northern lights. It will come through your eyes. It will come through your smile. But there's a but here. But what do we allow to dim our lights? What do we allow others by the should, coulds, and woulds of ourselves and others? But we tend to do that. I got a big job ahead of me here trying to cover 12 powers in 3 weeks. Now, I started last week, and we had the power of faith, we had the power of love, we had the power of, I believe it was strength. Oh, I love this. Somebody remembers these. Good. Right. And I think I've made sure that we had the wisdom was last week. That's right. So I'm asking you to look at this. What's that next slide? I'm not sure what it is next. What do I got up there? Oh, yes, the video. I want you to see this video. This literally happened in 2017, where people got together, and it should be self-explanatory. It's just a couple minutes long. Try it again, see what happens. No, it's going to the end. Are we able to, let me see these back there. Well, we're going to know that music. I feel like I'm on hold with AT&T. They're trying to get it to move. If it's we'll give it a minute while they're talking about that. And the reason I chose this video, but if it doesn't end up showing up, I'm okay with it. You know, God bless the flexible, for we will not get bent out of shape. But anyway, the reason I wanted that video was because there was many Unity ministers talking about why they continue to keep teaching and re-educating their congregations about the 12 powers, because we tend to forget them. We forget how powerful we are. We forget that we are northern lights. We forget it. Who in here started forgetting that in first grade? I did. Some of you even younger, right? Because of the memes that were brought to us, and we took them on as truths, and they're not truths. You are not born in original sin. You are not born. Oh, it's working. Maybe.
World crisis. Call it meditation or prayer, but regardless of what you call it, it has the power to change everything. On February 1st, 2016, people from around the world focused their prayers on a small group of peacemakers, Jewish, Muslim, and Christian, sitting on a hill overlooking a village held by ISIS. They had one goal in mind: to send a massive blessing into the war zone, a new kind of extremism based on the laws of love. And at the same time, the small band of peacemakers carried with them a book, The 12 Powers by Charles Fillmore. Somehow, the two events were connected, though it was still a mystery how. This is the movie about the merging of those two powerful forces.
The 12 Powers is probably one of the simplest and most brilliant ways to express what being Christ-like is all about.
I believe that the 12 powers are the key to living a life that is worthy of our divine nature.
As a 20-year-old who is going to be a future Unity minister, I think that the 12 powers are as relevant today as they always have been when Charles wrote them.
They speak of universal principles and practices, and they give an individual tools to use to be able to move forward in their lives through consciousness.
The integration of the 12 powers is essential because it really calls us into a higher level of living in the world that isn't about shame and blame and destruction, but is actually about life and living from a whole new perspective of reality.
Here's the thing about Unity. It used to have the tagline, practical Christianity. Practical meaning we can do it in our everyday lives. And I think in order for that to happen, we need a template, we need a framework.
I've spent the last 3 decades immersing myself in the study of those stages which are the 12 powers. And I still don't understand everything yet.
Thank you. Thank you for your persistence back there in the camera booth. Thank you. So I'm telling you, it's not just me and my take on this, as you've heard, right? These It's your spiritual toolbox, as I said last week. It's not your Fisher-Price toolbox. It is your Craftsman toolbox. And they are guaranteed for life to live more of a Christ life. And what does that mean, Christ life? Good life, full of love, full of compassion, full of kindness, just as Jesus exemplified. That's why we call it Christ-like, because we see Jesus as one of our master teachers and way showers. And we also honor other master teachers. But I also was reading something this morning, and I think it's really important to remind you all. Unity is a practical form of Christianity. The key word is practical. And what does that mean? More than what he said, it means practicing. You have to practice it in order to own it and live from that. Now, I got a lot to cover here and quickly. So, we're going to cover the spiritual power of power. And where is power located? Do you see it on your diagram there? Where? It's actually more in the throat chakra. It's at the root of the tongue, the back in the root of the tongue. So think about that and the power that you have with what comes out of this throat chakra, right? I'm telling you, if you think about when you start getting sore throat, swollen glands, all that kind of stuff, think about what's been coming out of your throat chakra. Something to think about, right? And it says here, oh, we got a quick video, don't we? Let's show that real quick. Yeah, these are 1 minute. These are very short. The spoken word brings life into manifestation. It can. My thoughts and words move me ever closer to the truth of my being. Wrong use of this God-given. And let's see, do we have that next slide? I think it's there. Is that the power slide? Nope, the one we got. That's okay. We can go 2 back if you're able to. And if we can, great. There it is. Power is a gift of God. It does not say from God. I want you to catch that little word, right? It says of God, freely given. Wrong use of this God-given power can bring disappointing and even disastrous results. Power rightly used under the direction of the Christ within, of the good within, will accomplish good beyond what you can ever imagine. Power is to be used for the forward spiritual movement of the whole. It is not self-seeking. Sometimes we get excited when we start hearing these spiritual truths and we start wanting to, start spewing them out into the world. This is misuse of power. Hey? Check in with that good, with the good within you before you speak it. Because sometimes I know I'm same way, I get excited and out spews blah, 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 because I got to tell everybody, right? If you only knew how long I spend from 6 o'clock until the time I get up here thinking and checking in with myself before I'm going to share anything with you. Because otherwise, it's Kathy and her ego show up here. And that's not good. Because trust me, I got a strong ego, right? We all do. So I'm going to move on to the next. I was going to share with you this power thing. Real quick, I can use my daughter. She loves it when I do that. She's in the back, and she's like, oh, crud, here we go again. And she didn't check in with me on this one. But there is times when I get disappointed because I haven't heard from her or the grandkids in a week, right? And so I can misuse the spiritual power and it go to my ego power, and I want to just simply say these little snide comments like, oh, you're still alive. The phone works both ways, you know. Yes. I didn't check in first because I just picked up the phone or she called and then out comes my little ego thing. That's misuse of spiritual power. Okay, that's egoic power. I'm trying to make her feel bad so then now she feels guilty and maybe they'll call once in a while, right? Yeah, see how that works for me. Anyway, I'm going to move on to what your song was about. Imagination, the spiritual power of imagination. Let's show that real quick. The ability to dream a different future. Yes, start creating this. This is John Lennon. To change conditions in my life, I hold pictures in my mind. Pictures of experiences that are happy, healthy, prosperous, and joyous. Release images of the past. This is critical. I create big, bold, brilliant imaginings. My visions are lofty. And my dreams are awesome. My imagination brings possibilities to life. Yes, yes. Release limiting thoughts and imagine something greater. Where is the location of this one? See it? Where's imagination on your chart? The third eye. The third eye is where you imagine. That's what you do every week in meditation here on Sundays. When I say use the power of your imagination, you're going to that third eye, okay? In order to change conditions. I think we're ahead a slide, but that's okay. We'll just stay with it. Anyway, to set it right is to see it right. That's about imagination. So in order to change conditions in the mind, okay, and your affairs, you've got to transform the pictures in your mind. Think of it this way. Change the movie that you keep showing yourself. Change the movie. How many of us relive over and over a bad experience, a sad experience? Yes, I do too, right? I mean, we had an accident yesterday at a family picnic where one four-wheeler hit another four-wheeler, and the pictures kept going in everybody's minds, right? Have you had that happen where something's happened and then you just keep playing the movie over and over? You've got to use the power of your imagination to create a different movie. It is important. And how do you do that? The more you become interested in showing yourself pictures of happy, healthy, prosperous, joyous experiences, the easier it will become to forget those old images. This is why I came here 35 plus years ago and never left. Walked in here because I needed to be reminded, and I still need to be reminded of the happy and the joyous, and that I have the choice every moment of every day what movie I want to play in my mind. The power of imagination is so important. Now we're going to end up with the power of understanding. This is big in my world. Okay? Wisdom knows, right? All your intellectual wisdom knows, but understanding knows why. And I have quite a few notes here, so I am going to just succinct this. How do you move to the spiritual power, and how do you develop the spiritual power of understanding? By asking questions. I see this so much in volunteer organizations, and this one is called a church, okay, to where I don't know why they're being, so short with me. So-and-so's usually very friendly. Now they're telling me this. And I'm like, did you ask them if something's going on with them? Because typically I already know. I've been alerted that something's going on with somebody because they've come either through the prayer chain or they've come to me personally to share something that's going on with them. Once you understand why this person is acting this way, that is where true understanding goes. And unity is all about the power of questioning. And I don't know too many churches that encourage this. Unity encourages it. We want you to question. And you want to question because I'm telling you, you can judge the people on your Facebook page. You can judge the people in the political arena. But I guarantee you, if you go and study their childhoods, you will have more of an understanding of why these people are acting this way. And then you can move to more love and compassion in our life, in your own life, and in our world. And that's how we're going to change our world and move it into more. But we want to judge this person at this age on the surface, and what does that do? Nothing. Is that division or separation or oneness? Good guess. Good guess. I want you to understand that is separation consciousness. Judging without spiritual understanding is separation. Oh, that's a big one for me. Anyway, do we have a video on that one? Yeah, let's.
I call upon my gift of divine understanding for insights into my daily journey. Spiritual understanding guides my mind and heart when I am not sure of the path to take, the decision to make, or the words to say.
Well, we got a short one on that too. I guess that's saying, Kathy, come on, let's wrap it up. That's okay. We can let it go. We're going to let it go. So, anyway, we're going to move on to the spiritual power of will. This is the last one for this week, and then next week I will hit the final 4. Okay, the power of will. Located where? I forgot to ask you, spiritual understanding, do you see where that's located? Where? The front? Right, front of the brain. But look where will is. Right next to it, right? They're twins. Okay, they stay basically in the same center there. It is the executive power of the mind to move into action. Our job is to re-educate the will to become more receptive to spiritual motivation versus material or personal pursuits alone. I'd love to repeat that, but I think you'll remember it if I give you an example of my own life. Anybody in here would consider themselves strong-willed? Yep, that's me. Yep. And then I have my husband, Michael. And you put 2 strong-willed people together, and what do you usually have? Right? I'm not changing until you do. I'm not changing until you do. I don't need to change. Well, I don't need to change either, right? This is where we're trying to use our will for our own personal pursuit. What this is saying is to re-educate myself to using my will spiritually. Ooh, that's not so easy, right? So, how do you do that? In Kathy's words, I'd say bite your lips until they're bloody. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. Kidding, but I'm not kidding, because sometimes it takes that, right? For me to, because I'm so strong-willed, right? And I'm going to stand my ground. What has that done but nothing but separate us more when we're at this? We're separating, right? And we both want oneness. We both want the same thing. We both want to love each other and understand each other. But we get stuck in our will, that egoic will. Spiritual will is the part where we draw from all the 12 powers. And when we draw from faith, when we draw from love, when we draw from wisdom, when we draw from spiritual understanding, it softens the will. And then we can come to compromise. Does that make sense? I think that's the best way to use it, is by sharing my own life. I'll talk to Michael and Christy after service, beg for forgiveness. So, with closing that, I want you to really understand that this is not just a Unity great book by Charles Fillmore. This is a classic, life-changing book. It is a classic, life-changing teachings. So you don't have to read the book. You can take the class for dummies by watching these services over these last 3 weeks, right? Because it will give you the gist of it. But I'm telling you, this little kit is one of the best things that I have seen Unity bring out. And that is the 12 Powers Self-Guided Retreat. It is perfect. You can do it at your own pace. Every power has a 10-minute meditation. Every power has you journaling. It has guided questions for you to write in your journal about. This is a key to developing your own personal experience of each 12 power. Not Kathy's experience, your experience. So I'm like, I think we only have one left in the bookstore, but go to unity.org and you can order them for yourself. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's go to the affirmation, please. I am committed to aging strong. I do that by becoming more spiritually fit. I took this quote, Sandy, out of your book that you're going to be doing in October of the resilience. Tell me what that's called again. Adventures in Resilience, and it's focused on the 12 powers. And this quote just hit me because that's what it is. Studying and learning and practicing the 12 powers are practicing your spiritual muscles and becoming spiritually fit. It's good to be physically fit, but you can be physically fit, and if you're not spiritually fit, you're out there causing a lot of havoc in the world and within yourself. When you're spiritually fit, that's more important than anything, because then you can handle the physical things that come up. You'll handle them with ease and grace. So this is my dream. Let's say that together first. I am committed to aging strong. I do that by becoming more spiritually fit. And this is my dream for the next slide. Can you read that? If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. If you want that, you've got a toolbox that you can use anytime. With that, I say namaste. That these 12 powers in me truly acknowledge, honor, and see those 12 powers, those spiritual 12 powers in each and every single one of you. Namaste.